I felt the perspiration creeping down my neck as the energetic beat of my music fueled me through the final reps of my squats. My home gym might not have been much, a small patch in the basement with a yoga mat, a few free weights, and a used elliptical I'd bought online. But over the years, it had become my personal retreat. It was one of those rare mornings I had the whole house to myself. No children asking for snacks, no calls awaiting a response, no urgent errands. Just me, my playlist, and the rewarding ache of muscles at work. I was midway through a set of lunges when I caught the soft creak of the side door. My heart leapt, and I paused, one knee still bent. A voice called out, "Hello?" I recognized it instantly as Tim, my neighbor from next door. We'd never been close friends, but we'd maintained a cordial rapport. He'd helped me clear snow off my driveway last winter, and I'd baked him banana bread when he first moved in. A decent guy, quiet and courteous, always willing to help. Still, the fact that his voice was echoing inside my house set me on edge. Throwing a towel over my shoulders, I hurried upstairs to the kitchen and found Tim standing uncertainly by the counter, a small box in his hands. "Tim? What are you doing here?" I tried to keep my tone light, though I felt a flicker of annoyance and a hint of self-consciousness at having my workout interrupted. His cheeks tinged pink. "I'm really sorry, Claire. The door was unlocked. I yelled, but nobody answered, and I didn't mean to intrude. It's just, I saw this package on my porch, realized it was for you, and thought you'd want it right away." He raised the box as though to validate his explanation. I let out a slow breath, relieved. "Thanks. I didn't even realize I was expecting anything." Taking the box, I placed it on the counter. Tim glanced at my outfit. Leggings, a tank top, hair piled up in a messy bun, then averted his eyes in a polite gesture. "I'll head out," he said, already stepping toward the door. "Wait," I heard myself say before I could think twice. "Do you want some coffee? I was almost done downstairs." He looked startled, probably as taken aback by my spur-of-the-moment offer as I was. After a moment of hesitation, he nodded. "Sure, if it's not too much trouble." Tim settled into a chair at the kitchen table while I poured 2 cups of coffee, the fragrant smell filling the room. I passed him a mug and dropped into the seat opposite, dabbing at the beads of sweat on my forehead. "So, do you make a habit of rescuing wayward deliveries?" I teased, hoping to dissolve the tension. He let out a soft laugh, his shoulders finally loosening. "Not usually, but I know how frustrating it is to track down missing packages, so I thought I'd save you the hassle." I gave an appreciative nod and sipped my coffee. "Well, thank you, but next time, maybe knock louder. You nearly gave me a heart attack." He laughed again, and I noticed how his eyes lit up when he smiled. There was a comforting warmth about him, something that made conversation flow more easily than I'd expected. We chatted idly after that. I found out he worked from home as a freelance graphic designer, explaining why I rarely saw him leave the house. He told me he loved living here but admitted he hadn't formed many connections yet. "It's tough, you know," he said, cradling his mug in both hands. "Making friends when you're an adult. Everyone's busy with work or family or their own obligations." I nodded in empathy. "You're telling me, with my job, the kids, there's barely any room to just breathe." He caught my gaze, and for a second the air felt charged, as though we'd stumbled onto something neither of us had known we needed to talk about. "Do you work out a lot?" he asked suddenly, breaking the hush. "Most mornings, if I can," I replied. "It's what keeps me grounded." A small smile lifted the corners of his mouth. "Maybe you can give me some tips sometime. I've been wanting to get back in shape, but I'm a pro at excuses." Before I could rethink it, I blurted, "Why not start now? If you're serious, you can join me." He blinked in surprise. Then he grinned. "Really? You wouldn't mind?" "Not at all." "Though I won't go easy," I said, faintly amused at my own invitation. The next morning, He arrived at my door in sweatpants and a t-shirt, looking both nervous and determined. I led him to the basement, where my small workout station was set up. After handing him a bottle of water, I clapped my hands. "Okay, show me what you can do." We started off stretching. I could see how hard he was trying to mirror my movements, even as his coordination was off in places. Once we moved into bodyweight exercises, he was sweating profusely but never uttered a single complaint. "Is this level of intensity normal for you?" he joked, collapsing onto my yoga mat after we'd wrapped up the final set. I chuckled, handing him a towel. "Only on Tuesdays." Over the following weeks, we developed a steady morning routine. In the beginning, it was mostly about exercise, but soon our conversations ventured into more personal territory. We spoke about our careers, about family, and the aspirations we'd buried under day-to-day responsibilities. Then, one morning, after a punishing workout, Tim turned to me and said, "I haven't felt this healthy in years. Thanks, Claire." The sincerity in his tone caught me unawares. "For what?" I asked quietly. "For letting me be part of this, for inviting me in," he replied, voice subdued. I didn't realize how much I needed a push or a friend. The weight of his words lingered between us. I felt a tightness in my throat as I recognized how much his presence had come to mean to me as well. "Same here," I said, barely audible. From then on, we drifted into something deeper. Our time together was no longer just about the squats or the post-workout coffee. It was about two people discovering solace and emotional support in each other. Looking back, I never would have imagined that a delivered-by-mistake package and an unexpected interruption in my workout could spark something so meaningful. But life, in all its unpredictability, has a way of turning the mundane into the extraordinary.